This is your spotlight. I am your host, Eurydice Roman. And this month's episode is episode 6. Yes, episode 6. I upgraded, I got myself a fancy new mic, and we are celebrating for this month Gay Pride. So, Gay Pride, also called LGBT or LGBTQ, commemorates the Stonewall Riot, which began in the early hours of June 28, 1969, after the police raided the Stonewall Bar in New York City and Greenwich Village neighborhood. So that's what I wrote there. In 1970, the first anniversary of the riots, the first Gay Pride March along Greenwich Village's Christopher Street. Early Pride events, often called Freedom Day or Gay Liberation Day. There are a few people in attendance, and it gained more attendance throughout the years. In 1978, the most recognizable symbol of gay pride debuted in San Francisco. It was first, the Stonewall Riot started back in 1969. They were having pride events in 1970 to commemorate the 1969 event. And then in 1978, literally 9 years later, the symbol of gay pride debuted in San Francisco. So the first flag, as I'm going to show you on screen, the rainbow flag with 8 colors, sexuality symbolized hot pink, life was red, healing was orange, the sun was yellow, nature was green, art was blue, harmony was indigo, and spirit was violet. And it was designed by Gilbert Baker. So imagine that. As I'm saying all of these, you're going to see the image on screen. So once again, the original rainbow flag was with 8 colors. So hot pink symbolized sexuality, life was symbolized by red, healing was symbolized by orange, the sun was symbolized by yellow, nature was symbolized by green, art was symbolized by blue, harmony by indigo, and violet for spirit. So in 1979, the flag was modified again and hung vertically, so vertically, from lampposts on San Francisco's Market Street, changing the design welcome to This Is Your Spotlight. I am your host, Eurydice Roman, as I said in the intro. And this month's episode is for LGBTQ pride. It's I have to be fair to everybody. Everybody deserves to be represented and spoken about. And today's guest is Caden Phoenix. She is a comic book author. Please tell us where you're from and how amazing are you? I think you're amazing because I can't draw worth a damn. I really can't.
I can't draw either, so you're totally fine. We're on the same page. I'm the creator and the writer of a Latina superhero universe. I have artists that do, I would say that they do know how to draw. And so I'm very, very fortunate that I do have them. It's all Latina artists as well, because it's very important to me. So yeah, thank you.
So what prompted you to do this?
I wanted representation. I come from the film industry, very independent, but I'm a writer and director in the film industry. And so I was just like, okay, if I was going to write any script I wanted to, what would it be for like the big screen as a feature? And I was like, Latina superhero. And that was my first thought, right? And because it's easy, like, why wouldn't I want to see a Latina superhero? And so I was like, okay, if I can make 1, I can make 5. And if I make 5, they're in a universe, right? And it just keeps going on and they keep adding on top of each other. So I have now 5 Latina superheroes. in their own universe. Obviously, they become a team because they're all 5, within the same universe. And so that's what I'm working on. I have 3 out of the 5 books out, the origin stories, and then the 6th book is the origin as a team.
Oh, okay. So what are the 5 Latina superheroes you got going?
I'll tell you the 3 right now because I have in my book. So this is Jalisco. She dances folklorico. The blade comes out of her dress. So you can see like reflect bullets, or she goes like that and they shoot out as well. She takes down the femicide. They're all very social justice. So she's my Mexicana. And then the next one that came out, this was late last year, is Santa. She is my border town girl in Texas, and she takes down ICE. And this is ICE, that's Irene Chavez Estevez. So I personified her. She's a conservative front runner for the town, running for mayor. She joins the Democratic side, which is the dominant side, and she learns patriotism. And you're either like a Zika or you're a luchador, just because it's so political. But you'll see, like, racial tensions are in this town. They rise up. Eventually, ICE starts taking the people, put them in the detention centers. Santa and her friends actually raid it at the very end and obviously take down ICE. So my one, same thing. It's political, but it is fun at the same time. And then my last one, this one just came out in May, Cinco de Mayo. And this is my Cubana Boricua. She's in Miami. She starts seeing demons and ghosts. She's my high school. She's my cute young one. This is Vika, the main demon she ends up fighting. And, she's a big scaredy cat. Like, it literally takes place in high school. It takes place at the house as well. Big scaredy cat. Has no idea what's going on, right? Because no one helps her. No one else can see the ghost. So they start calling her crazy because eventually she starts fighting them. And like you and I, we see her fight in the air. So we call her crazy, and she's really just saving us, So that's her thing. She learns courage. She overcomes her fear of the demons and ends up obviously fighting them.
That's pretty awesome. Wow. Yeah. I love how you just float into it. I was like, dang, I'm gonna keep up.
Thank you. And then the other 2 are being worked on. So that's Ruca, Maestra Lechola, of course, my Chicana. And then I have my Dominican gunslinger from New York called Bandita.
Hey!
Yeah, she's really cool. They're all dark and they're dark tones. They range of being a little bit on the darker tones, but they're all very social justice. Like Bandita is domestic violence. So she's just amazing because she literally takes down a domestic violence gang, if you will.
Oh, wow. So, so what's the inspiration? Like, are these based off of friends? Are these based off of, people you may know or may not know, or just like, what, if I could create like somebody, they would have that.
Well, Jalisco, the first one, the one that dances folklorico, is my mom. She was the easiest one. She was the first one I thought of. My mom danced folklorico my whole childhood. And so it was very easy. Like, I understand folklorico. But then, because my mom, I used to grow up watching her going to every dance, and carry her trajes and everything. So I understand folklorico. I just added the blades. So it's just a really extra cool element. And it's very macabre, but it's very pretty at the same time. And then everyone else, Santa, my dad used to live in Texas. So that's why I based Santa in Texas and the border town in El Paso. But really, I call it Wexo, but it's based in that regard. And then the other ones I just like I like Westerns. I like country Westerns. And so, like, why not have my gunslinger, and just add an extra element to it. Druga, I'm from East LA. So, that's this one. It's an homage to Chicana culture, right? Because she's literally like a 90s Chicana. She's a 90s chola. So it's really cool with the hoop earrings and like the Cortez Nike. Just like literally we have lowriders, we have our pit bulls, we have Pachuca, like very, very
Chicana. I was going to mention Pachuca. Yeah, I was like, wait, I was like, you have cholas, you should have Pachucas too. Like, they should be like rolled into there.
Absolutely. And then same thing, she's here and she goes down to Barrio Logan, which is San Diego's like East LA, for me at least. So I think there's just what I like and what I kind of grew up with. And so it's a nod to them. Like Bandita is in the theater row, like in Broadway, right? Because I like Broadway, or when I ever went to New York. So, like it takes place there as well. For the most part, it takes place there. So
but that's really cool though. Like, how important is LGBTQ representation in the work that you do? Because I feel like it's like speckles of it, but not like full on.
Well, I'm not here to, like shove anything down anyone's throat. Like if you want to read my book, cool. If you don't, that's fine too. Right now this is the diversity is on Latina. Some of them of the superheroes are lesbian, and that's future stuff. But like my whole thing is Latina representation and like the social media. I'm not sorry, social media. The social justice, right? The cause, right? Femicide, ICE, domestic violence, trafficking, and I forgot the last one, gun control within the schools and teen suicide. Like those are very specific, but it's also very female, it's very Latina. So that was my main thing. Like the sexuality, like obviously that is LGBTQ, like all that is very important, but it's not, shouldn't define somebody. That's the way I see it. Like,
right, of course.
People like introducing me like, oh, that's Kate and she's lesbian, as opposed to that's Kate and she's a writer or she's a director, right? Like I don't hear, hey, this is Bob, he's straight. Like you never hear that because that's just stupid. And that's I hear it because it sounds so stupid to me.
Yeah, just say, oh, he's cisgender male. That's all.
Really but like it's just that, and it's just that's how stupid society is. Like they have to describe me like that's my one trait. But like some of them are, and I'm not gonna tell you which ones, but like it's just that like, but really she's a superhero. It's not, oh, she's this. Which is, I mean, it's fine, she is, but like it's not the defining factor of why you should like her or not like her. So yes, there are, it is very important that is in it, but that is not my major, like you should define this thing, because I don't define people by their sexuality.
No, of course.
You define them by their character. Are they a good person? Exactly. So that's kind of what I like to impart or try to impart. It's in there, like it's in some of the stories and like it's part of who they are, yes, but it's not their defining factor. It's not why you should decide if you like them or not.
Yeah. No, but I got to give it to you. Those topics that you've tackled on are very prevalent in the community. And some of them, especially when it comes to suicide, is so taboo. And people have spent years just trying to hide like a lot of that. And it's just like, you shouldn't hide, domestic abuse. You shouldn't hide suicide. You shouldn't hide, deportation, because it's happening, whether you like it or not.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And then,
those social justice themes resonate with everybody. It doesn't matter, and when it hits home, it hurts. It hurts with a passion. And so all the projects what projects have you been involved in thus far that you can say, yeah, that was me? You better recognize that was me.
Well, my Latino superheroes is my main one as of right now, and obviously it's still going, but I'm very, very proud of it already, and it's already made some really good strides as well for being fairly new. Like Jalisco came out September of 2019. Santa was last year. Okay, right. And then Bandita and Druga should be coming out this year. Same thing. It's all moving, which is really, really nice. I recently finished a military PTSD short film called Taps, and that's in the film festivals right now.
Oh, nice. How long is it?
It's like, I believe 8 minutes or so.
Oh, wow.
So it's all military. It's very, very, obviously it's veteran cast and veteran crew, or 85% veteran crew and 100% veteran cast. I'm very proud of it, and I'm very fortunate to be able to like even work with them, with all the veterans.
So what prompted that? Like, what prompted you to do that?
A veteran wrote me, an actor, and he wanted to show the horrors of PTSD, right? Because every veteran has it, just in different degrees. And I said, okay, I'd love to do that. My two cousins are Marines, and I grew up in the airfield, like the shows over in Pendleton or in the Marine base over in San Diego. And so it was just, like same thing. I like military. And so it was like, I would love to do it. So I researched it, and you just see what works and what doesn't work. And obviously I'm on the outside perspective, and I'm not a vet, but I decided to do the PTSD story through the eyes of the father, because everyone always sees it through the eyes of the vet, which is fair, which is fine. I have nothing against that. But we never see it through everyone else that it gets affected by it, and so it's through the eyes of the father and how he missed all the signs of the PTSD, of his son's PTSD. And so obviously it got worse. It's a tragedy, honestly. The whole story is a tragedy, but it's a good story and it's very strong. And so I'm very fortunate to even have worked on it.
No, but that's good though. That's good that you decided to do that. Like I said, there's been attempts. I think the closest thing I could potentially think about is the group Linkin Park, right? when their second lead singer, not Chester Binghamton, Mike Shinoda paired
Mhm.
off, he did something called it was called Fort Minor, and there was a video called oh my god, I have the song in like my head. I just forgot the title. So oh, it's called Where'd You Go?
Oh, okay. I was thinking that song. That's the only one I know.
Yeah. Yeah, so from Fort Minor, there's that one. And the fact that they were showing how the child was reacting to the father's military life and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And I resonated with that song because, you know, there's been stuff that in my life that it's not military based. It's kind of actually just, you know, life and reality, how, you know, sometimes it kind of clashes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I when you talked about that, that's the video I thought of. I'm like, oh, where'd you go? It's like kind of like that, but more of an actual like visceral feel, which I'm sure is what you strive to do.
Thank you. And yes.
So yeah, no. So what film festivals have you done so far?
For that one, we're still waiting, honestly. We are going to submit to Sundance when it comes out, when it opens up in summer, and then Con, just in case. We don't have, I have we have good actors, but none of them are A-list names, but we're going to try regardless to get into cons as well.
No, yeah, that's always the tough thing, especially when it comes to doing such an impactful movie. Like, damn, it's like, oh, you don't have an A-list star. You know how hard it is to get a dang A-lister to even take a phone call. Like, I'm so sorry, I couldn't call. Da 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 da. I'm not gonna name drop because please, why? They know who they are. Yeah, it's hard, and I prefer to honestly give an up and coming person,
Mhm.
you know, a chance to shine.
Yeah.
I think that's better for me, honestly, as a filmmaker. I feel like I would get more from somebody who wants to like push their limit and their envelopes. Because if I had a A-list actor, they would be like, I know what I'm doing. Don't talk to me. I would have been like, you know what? Goodbye. How about that one? Goodbye. Ciao. I would do that.
That's good.
So
A-list
anything.
actors probably would not act like that, I wouldn't think, because they
Mhm.
shouldn't, in my head, because they're actors and they got to that point. Not to say that some are not divas, but if you're the director, their job is to listen to you. Otherwise, they don't have a job.
No, no, exactly, exactly. Um, well, I've worked at film festivals. Like for me, I've worked at Tribeca. I've worked at the New York Film Festival.
Yeah.
Volunteered for them as well,
Yeah.
and I've seen some of them, and
Uh,
some of them are like really like closed off, and some of them look tense, some of them look annoyed, stressed, tired. Any like word you could assign to it, that's what they look like. And I'm like, so yeah. But aside from everything else,
yeah.
so in the future, like what's in the cards for you, hun? Like what's in the cards? Like
I have
what would you like to see happen for all the work you're doing now for it to like manifest later on?
well, it's going really well. I think it's got a really nice progression already. I just spoke with Eyewitness News 7, which is our LA County, like our LA news source. So that was really cool. I just got a congressional certificate, looking at it, congressional certificate of recognition from our
Nice.
of California. Yeah, Jimmy Gomez. So like it's going, and I may have another interview for another news source, but I won't say it yet because it's not confirmed. But
Of
like
course.
it's moving, like I was saying, like my artists are working. I have a new artist working on my Latina princess universe. So my first one's Mexica, and she's my Aztec princess. And same thing,
Oh,
it's a graphic novel. It's the same beats. Like it's a graphic novel. It will be made into, or my hope is will be made into a feature, if not a series, but a feature, animated
oh.
feature, if not a live action. But that one feels much more animated because it's cute. Like she has a little pet ocelot called Elote. She goes on her little adventure. It's very Disney, of course, because it's princess. But I do always pass the Bechdel test no matter what I write, and so that's the benefit. Besides, it's just a cute story. Like we don't have our princesses, and why not? It's always the whole why not. So that's the same thing. It's moving and it's going. San Diego Comic Con, I have a panel coming up at SDCC. It's virtual, but I have a panel coming up with that. And then,
Nice.
thank you. And then I'm still waiting. Everyone's waiting for SDCC is on Thanksgiving, like an actual in person. So
Wow.
Yeah, we'll see how it is in November, but I like to go to that one and be like, that'd be my first table at Comic-Con.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh man. So eventually you'll come to New York and come to NYCC.
Yeah, I went there. I went there as just like a fan. I walked around. And it's really cool. It was very, very fun.
Yeah, it's behemoth. Oh my goodness. I remember I was there for Marvel's The Runaways.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it was wall to wall people. I know I'm almost sounding like Christopher Walken. It's a little scary. It was like Christopher Walken with a New York accent. It was just like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And there was just, it was just like, I always knew the Jacob Javits Center was huge. It just felt intense with that many amount of people. So it was pretty, I thought it was pretty good.
I liked it. It doesn't compare to San Diego, but none of them do, to be fair. Like, but it's closer to like say WonderCon or LA Comic Con, which was Comikaze, which was Stan Lee's Comic Con back in the day. But yeah, like the naval ship outside was really pretty as well. I remember passing by a really pretty naval ship, and I was like, oh, and staring, of course, because it was cool. But yes.
All right, that's the Intrepid.
Okay, cool.
So that's been there. Ooh, I like to say almost 50 years. Wow. And they turned that naval ship into like a floating museum, which is kind of really cool. So they have all the fighter planes from like the 1940s and actually like a couple from World War One. Yeah. And they even have the spaceship of the USS Enterprise. Yeah. So they actually have that inside there. I took my son there, so this is why I know this. I took him there for his birthday, and they just opened up again.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all right, let's go to the Intrepid. Let's go today because it's like their second day open. Let's go, this weekend. There'll be no lines, obviously. There'll be no people, and I'll be okay with that. Because once things start to get better after COVID has somewhat stabilized enough for you to go out, it's going to be crazy in here. So let's go now.
Yeah.
So wait, how has the whole thing with COVID affected your work thus far? Like, has it slowed it down? Has it like?
I'm fortunate. Like there was a meme that like a little like a Muppet was like posing or whatever. It's just like they don't know the difference. Like there was no difference, honestly, for me. Like pre-COVID and after COVID, because I was still in the house working. That's my job. Is I'm at the computer working regardless. Right. So there's really no difference in that regard. In regards to sales, yes, that because a bulk of my sales is from comic conventions and then from book signings. So that was the difference. But that's everyone, not me. That's literally every comic book creator.
Mm-hmm. But where do you sell? What do you sell your comic book material?
Oh,
like what platforms?
LatinoSuperheroes.com is my main one. I'm also carried in Walmart and Target and Barnes and Nobles. What? So, yeah.
So I'm gonna look for you at Barnes and Nobles. The few remaining ones you have in New York, I'm gonna look for you. I'm gonna look for your work.
And not just ask them; they'll look it up, which makes me sound cooler too. And then, but yes, Jalisco's there in Santa, and then Loquita is getting updated in their catalog actually this week. So they will always be there. So thank you.
Oh wow. Well, yeah. I am very humbled and honored that you spent time with me here, and you spoke to everybody here. So, from the Bronx to LA, we say hola and hey.
How you doing?
And my mother says, "How you doing?" No, that's Jersey.
That's Wendy Williams.
That's Wendy Williams. That's Jersey.
Totally fine.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate this, and best of luck with your endeavors and everything that you do. I am exceedingly happy that you're out there doing the damn thing.
Thank you.
Making your name, making your mark, getting, things that matter. And people really need to like start opening up their mind and changing their perceptions of, you can have superheroes. Mm-hmm. Superheroes can be like you. And they can face issues that you face every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and you have a great one. Stay well, stay safe, and So, as I was stating originally, I'm here with my second guest on This Is Your Spotlight with Mr. Ivan. I usually mess up your last name, so I don't want to mess it up. So please pronunciate it.
Fajardo.
Fajardo, there you go. Tú ves. I was
Fajardo.
going to say completely something else y tuviera como. All right. So please, for those of you who may not know you, who've seen you around, if they've been to a film festival, they will have seen you around. So please tell everybody about the work you do and a
Okay.
little bit about yourself.
Everybody, thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you for having me on
Claro.
your show. And congratulations for what you're doing. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing that you're doing. I mean, let me tell you, you've been working very hard, and I can tell. Thank you. Well, my name is, as you said, my name is Ivan Fajardo.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm Colombian from Cartagena. Yes, I've been living here for about 20-something years, practically half of my life.
Oh, wow.
And what I do for a living, I'm an event planner, and I'm
Oh,
a
okay.
PR.
Nice.
And I've been working for the last 10 years doing
Mm.
most of the film festival, Latino film festival in New York City, including red carpets, including logistic, and of course, PR. So
Oh, wow.
what I do for a living.
Yeah, it's tough. Wow.
It is. You know
Oh.
better.
I no I don't like, no me gusta tirar atrás por el sol, pero lo voy a hacer.
We have a lot of
No,
history.
no, of course, of course. Let's see. I started my film festival journey back in 2006. I started volunteering, and
Wow.
that's how I got into the whole film festival world.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that for like the last 15 years. I started with Tribeca. Then I went to the HBO Latino Film Festival.
Right?
Then I did Tribeca for 3 years, so 2006 2009. I took a break, and then I started helping Armando with his film festival just as a volunteer. I just
Mm-hmm.
told him, "What do you need me to help you with?" He's like, "Oh, just make sure you give out flyers y habla con la gente y qué sé yo." And I said, "Okay, no problem." And then by the time he started growing his team, I always ask him. I said, "Listen, if you need my help, whatever you need, déjame saber."
Mm-hmm.
And usually he does. So let's see, like 5 years ago, that's when I started becoming the volunteer coordinator. Because I always, cada año me parecía. So I was like, all right.
Algo nuevo. Algo nuevo. Sí, 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 sí.
I was like, okay.
Sí.
Entonces lo ayudé y me pusieron como coordinador de los voluntarios. El año grande fue 2018, que yo de verdad sobresalí, como dicen.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. The line of work that you do. How important is LGBTQIA plus representation?
There is a lot.
It's a lot of letters.
Don't worry if you misspell it or miss it, because I'm having difficulty to pronounce it myself. It's because it's every time, I would say maybe every other year right now, it's another letter and another community and another way of living, another way to express yourself and your identity that it keeps adding up. Me as a gay man, I came out when I was 27 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Well, in front of my parents.
Yeah, that's always hard.
But I was living a double life. I was
Huh.
living a double life because, yes, as I told you at the beginning, I was born and raised in Cartagena, but when I finished my high school, I went to Bogota, which is the capital, to go to the university, to go to college. So
Okay.
that gave me the chance to actually live openly as an openly gay man in
Oh,
a
wow.
big city as Bogota, because Bogota is very, very cosmopolitan city. Back then and now still.
Okay.
So yes, and I always advocating for the freedom of expression, for the freedom of your identity, to be considered as a human being, besides people judging you of your gender, your preference, sexual preference.
No, claro.
So I continue all my life, and still until today. What I have seen so far, it has changed a lot drastically for good. That right before it was just only categorizing between gay, lesbian, and bisexual. Right now, there is so many colors in that rainbow.
No,
so
seriously.
for good. And having the chance to be involved, because I started advertising and I started Snare and all that before I moved to the United States, always gave me the chance to be surrounded people with open-minded people, like accepting gays, accepting lesbian. So it wasn't that hard for me to accept myself and be me in front of everybody. Working in this industry, in the industry that I work for a living, it gave you the chance to meet new people, new generation. And now I know about the pansexuals. Now I know all about
I'm telling you.
all of them.
Non-binary, gender conforming, cisgender male, cisgender female. And then they've even added flags and colors.
That's right.
Which is like, I can't keep up. I really can't. So this is why I always tell whoever I meet, and doesn't matter what's your sexual orientation, I usually ask them, what is your name? Period. Just tell me your name. I will call you by your name.
Yes.
That's it. Because if you get into the even pronouns,
Even
she,
pronouns.
her, or him, he, or they, them, and it's just like, okay. So it's a lot to catch up with. It's like cada minuto o cada otra cosa. Y es bueno que nosotros tenemos la oportunidad de representar a todo el mundo.
Correcto.
En su forma, en su manera que ellos desean.
Yes.
Pero alguna vez, no sé, es dificultoso porque el ser humano podemos cambiar la forma, los títulos, como cambiamos las medias, las camisas o lo que sea. Pero siempre hay un constante en la vida de uno. Eso
y es lo bonito, ¿sabes? Es lo bonito, creo yo, que para muchas personas, para estas nuevas generaciones, poder disfrutar más, con un poco más de seguridad, de alzar la voz, de talk about it more openly.
No,
because they don't have, I mean, and they really fight it for their rights.
No, it's true.
They really fight it for their rights, and they talk openly about, okay, this is what I like, this is who I am, this is what I feel more comfortable to be called, or this is my, you name it, as you say, there's so many flags, so many colors, so many out there, which is but for good. I completely applaud. And it's something very, excuse me, it's something very interesting, I don't know if you notice in the festivals, I remember, well, when I work with volunteers, every volunteer brings a history. And I remember for the last 6 years, when I got the volunteer crew, I see mujeres que son lesbianas, otras que no son lesbianas, otras que sí se llaman lesbianas, hombres que no. Todo, ver esta generación. Eso se ve en esta industria. Se ve como más, por ser arte, los artistas siempre hemos sido más abiertos a lo que es la unidad entre todos.
Es verdad, es cierto.
Entonces, la gente
y honestamente yo considero eso como un privilegio de tener tantas variaciones, tantas diferentes facetas. Yo creo que hay poder en la creatividad que uno puede tener. So I
Correct.
think it's a powerful thing for me personally. And I think it's great, honestly. And for me, it's just like when I worked at film festival circus, like what's the one thing everybody has in common? We all love movies.
Right.
So it's just like, okay. And then sometimes we get inspired when we're at film festivals. Like I've met people that started as a volunteer and they decided to just go for it and make their own short film.
Hmm.
Or they want to be an extra in movies and stuff like that. So, and even some of the films that have been in the festivals that I've been at, I think they're fantastic. And it's hard because you can never judge an audience based upon the film that you put out there.
Hmm.
You'll be surprised who likes your film. And that's what you have to wait as a film person to be like, wait a minute. What doesn't matter who your audience is, as long as somebody watches what you do, it kind of like, I can't you por fin. Yeah, the audience was there. Thank God everything is done. And you and I worked together, and I don't
Yes.
know why, for some reason, I always have the calmest face in the middle of the madness. And you used to look at me like, why is she so calm?
It's true. It's absolutely true. Yeah, I remember we have worked quite a few times already, and I see your face, and I'm like, oh my God, I want what she's having because she's so calm. I want that tea. I want the type of tea that she's drinking. You know, it's all like I'm running like a chicken with no hand and trying to breathe in and everybody's all the time. Okay, yes, it's right here. Here it is. I'm like, oh my God, how she
No,
does
exactly. Well, that's the thing. Because see, half the time before the meetings, what I used to do, I used to prep myself. Like I have cue cards, or like I have a notebook, and I would like, okay, let's say opening night coming. He's gonna ask me for X amount of volunteers. So I have to look at my look at my phone numbers that I have, look at this, reach out to this amount of people, and we're gonna go from there. And usually, and he goes, I need 20 volunteers. Okay, but you will have them. You have 17. Tada tranquilo, like they're coming. And this is me calling. I haven't had a volunteer tell me, he's like, oh my God, I finally get to see you. The only time I saw you was at orientation.
it's correct.
I saw you at the opening night.
And that's it.
And then that's it. I haven't seen you for the rest of the festival. Where have you gone? I said, yeah, I'm like the invisible hand of God, you know? I just call you and I'm just like this disembodied.
But we all love it. We all love it. I mean, what the circuit is, well, this is, you know, I do pretty much all of them for the Latin American Film Festival here in New York. I think I'm involved pretty much from
Yeah.
95% of them. I'm involved.
And
So
that's awesome.
thank God that I had that luxury. But it cost me
Oh, absolutely.
price, tears, lágrimas, dolor, de todo, pelo, todo. Pero,
Well,
we
see,
did
that's
it.
why, like, if I went hardcore into the film festival circuit, I think I wouldn't have hair. And if I had to do that like year round, it's like go from festival to festival to festival to festival. I think by festival number 3, ya tuviera like burnt a bit. I'd just be like, no, déjame tranquila, don't look at me, don't that. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, like I said, I'm just organized and when it comes to that. So I kind of anticipate whatever role I'm given in the film festival, if it's line director, if it's venue manager, if it's volunteer manager, I'm already like, okay, let me make some notes for myself here. Okay, these are my responsibilities, even though they haven't said it forthright. Déjame escribirlo para yo recordármelo. And yeah, no. And usually I get a good people, that want to cooperate. And I respect everybody's time in terms of that. especially in New York City. You have to respect everybody's time because everybody has a lot going on. And that's the thing. But the festival, I like working the festivals. And I believe it is absolutely, positively necessary for LGBTQIA plus representation. You need to show the people that are behind the camera, the writers, the directors, the producers. It is absolutely necessary because half the freaking year, everybody's just trying to make sure that they keep their head above water y que no se hundan con todas las estrés y la presión de la vida. So I
Mira,
think it's
mira,
absolutely
te quiero
necessary.
contar, Eury, te quiero contar un dato muy interesante. Una de las cosas que más yo aprecio dentro de tanto, todos los festivales les tengo un amor a todos le tengo un amor muy grande, pero recuerdo que uno de los anécdotas al Festival de Cine de La Habana de Nueva York,
Okay.
que por muchos años han traído películas con temática relacionadas con la temática que las relaciones interpersonales, con las relaciones gay, las relaciones interpersonales. Siempre hay algo que tenga que estar involucrado y esto lo vienen haciendo desde hace años. Yo pienso que desde que salió la película Fresa y Chocolate, desde ahí ellos vienen trayendo, desde ahí vienen haciendo. Hace unos cuantos años atrás, yo diría como unos 3 o 4 años, unos 3 o 4 festivales atrás, trajeron una película que se llamaba Miss Bangkok. Era un documental, película interesantísimo, y recuerdo que se hizo un scouting en los bares de aquí. Yo vivo ahora en Queens, en los bares gay de Queens, para traer un grupo grandísimo de transgender y traerlas todas al red carpet. Y durante yes, we did.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I know that must have been a lot of work for red carpet.
It was a lot of work, but it was one of the red carpet that I would never forget. Because it was something different to have all the Dixie en plumas, lentejuelas. No tanto eso, sino que se expresaron como se tenían que expresar, como son. Y lo hicimos para eso, para ensalzar, para enaltecer la comunidad transgénero, porque se trataba de eso en la película que se presentó, la Miss Bangkok. Y fue algo muy, muy chévere que creo que después nosotros al comienzo estábamos, wow, ¿cómo va a ser? ¿Cómo lo va a tomar la otra gente? No por nosotros nos valía. Nosotros estábamos felices.
Worse.
Pero ¿cómo lo iba a tomar otras gentes de ver a este grupo caminando shoulder to shoulder with them in a red carpet? Y en las fiestas después, y en todas las actividades, porque estuvieron invitadas como invitados de honor durante todo el festival.
Okay.
Entonces, fue algo que como que puso un punto de que, hey, we support, we don't care, todos somos iguales, todos estamos aquí, todos somos iguales.
No, it's true. Wow. Dang, that sounds like a good time and a lot of work.
Yes.
But hey, and you know, that I forgot, but I have not been to a festival yet that's had like that much into it. For example, not even Tribeca. I know DFFNY is tramando algo at some point, that they should have something so big. I think they had one documentary. It was about I think, was it the trans community in Puerto Rico? I would think it was in 2018 when it was in the Washington Heights Armory.
Right.
And the director came up to me and I just felt so hella bad because he was like, look at, he only gave me one screening. And on top of that, it was at esta hora. qué sé yo. And I was just like, I'm the venue manager. I just make sure that we have your movie and that it's being played at the hour that I didn't schedule your movie. So you're gonna have to talk to this person about the scheduling. I'm just making sure that there's people that came to see your movie and that there's no technical issues and that the tickets have been torn and that you have people in the seats and that the box office money is there and that I have my like little app and make sure que todo está contado. I will pass it along. Después de eso, yo tengo que hacerme desentendida. Excúsame, perdóname. Yo no puedo hacer más de lo que está en mi capacidad. Yeah, I think hopefully when Stone Festivals return, fingers crossed,
Yes.
we can get back to a place that we can have a beautiful, massive celebration.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, we will. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. I'm crossing my fingers.
It's just like, it's almost there. I can like, oh,
yeah.
Goodness. So you've been involved in so many projects. Have you ever had a project that you're like, oh, I love this project? Like, which one has been like a heavy hitter for you?
My marriage.
Your marriage?
My marriage.
So when did you get married? Vamos a hablar de eso. When did you get married?
Biggest project that I have been involved. Get married.
Yes.
Marriage.
Even for straight people, marriage is a pain in the ass.
You have to work every single day of your life. Is something that, I mean, I'm happily married, thank God. I've been with my partner, my husband, for 18 years. And we have 18 years and 8 years married. Yeah. So, that's my biggest word that I have said. Whoosh, I've been 18.
Also, you guys are finally, 18 is the legal age. So, you guys can buy lottery tickets. Son legal.
Let's make it to the 21 now, and we can.
21. That's it. You guys are adults.
And we can celebrate.
Celebrate. I meant work-wise, Ivan. Work-wise, which has been like a project. Well, if you have to pick one, if you have to narrow it down, let's do a top 5. The top 5.
No puedo porque me meto en problema.
No, but if you could do a top 5, we're not going to put out anybody's names out there.
No, tú sabes que he hecho, mira, te voy a decir uno de los más bonitos que he hecho, independientemente de los festivales. Hice hace como 1 año y medio un trabajo para una fundación contra el cáncer estaba todavía la primera dama Melania Trump. Y fue un proyecto que fue un evento era un tea party. Yo nunca había trabajado con ese standard, de las cosas más selectos, no estoy hablando de preferencias políticas. Yo fui a trabajar, a mí me contrataron para un trabajo. Pero fue algo que me gustó muchísimo porque pude extenderme en mi carrera y hacer algo con un grupo de personas que nunca me habían tratado. Y todo esto creo que fue gracias a Dios, les gustó como lo que yo había hecho con mi resumen, con los festivales de cine y todo, ¿sí me entiendes? Con todo lo que yo había logrado.
Of course.
Y cuando yo me llamaron, yo dije, it's really me. Are you sure?
You sure you got the right number?
Exactly. Are you calling about the right eye, the one from Cartagena, el negrito?
Yes, they called you, Hunty. They did. They called you.
They did. So, yeah, por eso creo que fue algo muy, muy, muy interesante, muy bonito. Y obviamente me pagaron muy bien.
No, claro.
Pero del resto, todos los festivales, tengo que decirlo de verdad políticamente, no solamente por ser político, sino por decir las cosas como son. Todos los festivales me aportan todos los años me aportan algo diferente. Me aportan una arruga más, una sonrisa más. Pero es algo que está en mí.
Don't worry, I don't see the wrinkles. It's okay.
The lighting.
Well, the lighting for me too. I got some interesting lighting, and maybe put on some little makeup. You know, just so. So what are the future plans, querido?
Regresar a trabajar. Dios quiera, ya parece que estoy en conversaciones y tengo proyectos. Septiembre arranco con unos proyectos que tengo ahí y vienen varios uno detrás de otro. Este fin de semana, la semana entrante tengo un evento con el Festival de Cine de las Américas que se va a hacer virtual, pero se va a hacer un cóctel en el consulado argentino el día 23. Desafortunadamente, hasta donde yo sé, creo que es por invitación. Pero es el primer evento que voy a hacer, es mi primer evento que voy a hacer desde la pandemia, desde febrero del 2020, que no he estado en la arena.
Oh my God.
Mi último trabajo fue para el Fashion Week, el Latino Fashion Week en febrero, y ahí no, por todo lo que sucedió, lo que todos sabemos.
No, yeah, I worked because I also, well, I have another, full-time job aside from the festival circuit, and I got to work regular Fashion Week. So once they called me for that, I was there for just that night, and then everything just went
boom,
and it hit like a hurricane. It was tough.
Yeah. So I'm ready. I can't wait. I'm ready. I'm looking forward.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I was looking forward to September Fashion Week, but I think todo el mundo todavía tiene ese temor y esa incertidumbre de regresar a hacer algo. So it's like, and then the Met Gala is September 13th this year. So that's going to be crazy. I don't know how many guests they're inviting. And I usually, at the Met Gala, it's crazy because Anna Wintour, forget it. I've seen her walking up and down, fasting. I'm telling you, it's not easy.
No, it's something that but te digo una cosa, Nueva York tiene ya, lo bueno que tenemos es que ya ayer, bueno, ya sabemos todo que ya se están abriendo todo. Yo estoy trabajando, me empecé a tomar una clase que ofrecía la ciudad online para los eventos cuando estaban mitad y mitad. Ahora, todo lo que aprendí, yo creo que ya, bueno, se quedó aprendido, porque ahora las cosas que van a ser completamente diferentes otra vez.
Se quedó en el disco duro.
Se quedó en el disco duro, there you go.
It's kind of like emergency glass. Break this in case of an emergency.
Yeah, because I was panicking. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do when I go back? But right now, okay, when I heard that yesterday, I'm like, oh my God, it's another goal.
So I think it's good that the theaters are coming back. And I actually went to see, la primera película que yo vi era de muñequito, no lo voy a negar. Y había literalmente, mi hijo y yo estábamos en una línea y el resto de la línea de asiento estaba vacía.
Wow.
Entonces, después de eso había 2 líneas más y había una pareja de novios y todo estaba vacío alrededor de ellos. En total había 8 gente.
Wow.
Y eso fue en abril cuando fui. Y la cosa era una película de niños. No quería pagar $29.99 para verla en mi casa. Y dije, no, yo voy a apoyar los cines que ahora abrieron de nuevo. Déjame presentarme, te llevo. Y totalmente pagué para yo y mi hijo menos de $20. Conmigo antes de ir y...
Wonderful.
That's it.
That's it.
Y recién lo llevé a ver otra película, de nuevo, de muñequito. Y había que sea 40 gente, pero todo el mundo estaba regado, tú sabes. Todo el mundo en cada línea había como 2 gente al final, entonces como 15 asientos, había 2 y al final había, del otro lado había 2 gente más. So,
Yeah.
I was happy. Vamos a ver si seguimos a que sea que la gente comience a regresar para el teatro. Yo tengo que ver, yo vi la película In the Heights, pero la vi por HBO Max. Y dije, no, esta película hay que saltarse en un cine y mirarla. Y la pobre película es buena, pero
Vivimos ahora.
yeah, everything is like, you're not politically correct, or you're not doing this, or you're not doing that. It's like, you know how long it took me to even get the movie from the stage to the screen?
Ujú.
So, I
Nadie,
don't know.
mucha gente no conoce todo ese proceso puede llevar años.
Imagínese, porque yo recuerdo, creo que fue en 2019, 2018. Yo sé que cuando estábamos haciendo el festival de cine, había algunos de los voluntarios que dicen, oh sí, yo fui un extra para la película In the Heights y qué sé yo, y va a salir el próximo año o el año siguiente, qué sé yo, no, I was like, okay. ¿Y tú me quieres tener como un extra? I'm like, I have a regular job, I'm so sorry. I have a 10-year-old. My son was like, what, 9 years old at the time? I have a 9-year-old and I have a 9 to 5 job. I think it's fantastic. Do your artsy stuff. That is great.
That's
Have
right.
fun. I can do all that.
Right.
I have to pay the bills the regular way, like everybody else does. So yeah, no, no. And yeah, so my future project is this documentary that I'm doing. And to my goal is to make 12 episodes of this show for this entire year. So I'm on episode 6. I got 6 more to go.
Wonderful.
6 more to go.
Yeah.
And next month's episode, I have no idea what's going to be the theme. We'll see. I'm loving.
Congratulations.
So
Congratulations.
hopefully people keep on saying yes to these interviews and things like that. Ivan, thank you so much for your time. I
No,
appreciate you.
thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for actually saying yes and agreeing to do the interview. So, gracias por eso. Have a good evening and stay blessed and
Okay.
safe and
Bye-bye.
corona free. Nos
Bye-bye.
vemos. Gracias.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.